He was called a PE teacher. He was called a PE teacher. This man was called a PE teacher, a Norwegian PE teacher. This man was called a PE teacher. Manchester United 2, PSG 1. Again in Paris, Ole Solskjaer schools Tuchel's PSG in Paris. Mbappe who? Neymar what? Rashford supreme, Manchester United 2, PSG 1, and no one expected that. And I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear anything. I heard Mbappe hat-trick. I heard Neymar hat-trick. I heard PSG were going to lubricate Manchester United. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer demonstrated a tactical masterclass in this game. A complete and total masterclass. Fully Live has come in. Thank you for live saying, I've said for long, Ole is the real deal. You know, Ole too. Ole, exactly. PSG, the fact of the matter is we scored PSG's goal. Martial own goal. It was a poor defensive because I don't know what he was doing, but we actually got PSG's goal. PSG didn't actually not score a goal from open play at all. Manchester, let me repeat this again, guys, so that you know. Manchester United 2, PSG 1 in Paris. And guys, I'm gassed. I am gassed. So I know this is your moment. Enjoy it. We will enjoy it because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got his tactics spot on here. We have to give credit. We have to give credit first where credit is due. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got his tactics completely wrong. And before we go to, because there's a lot to talk about in this game. Now, if you're new to the channel, just remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, UnitedX, and smash that notification button based on news. If there are those regulars who are in the comments as well, I will be posting the link in the stream. So if you do want to get involved in the chat, if you want to have your say on what was an amazing night in Paris again, then do let us know. But this is something I think that's very, very important. I'll post a link in the description there. If you guys want to come onto the show, click the StreamYard link. I can get you on, and we can have our say. So you can see. But let me know your thoughts on my UCL before you start set up on my UCL before we start setting hard. You mean Real Madrid? We'll see what happens. You know, if with cadets, you know what I mean, with cadets. You know, we'll see what happens. You know what I mean, especially without Ramos suspect. But guys, man, I mean, who would have thought? Who literally would have thought that Manchester United Football Club were going to go to Paris again? And this is the thing, guys. Last time we were in Paris when we won, I heard referees, penalty, handball, lucky, no Neymar, etc. Neymar and Mbappe and Di Maria were all starting today. Okay, PSG, whatever you say, PSG had a better team. We weren't even playing Pogba. Guys, PSG got bossed by midfield, which included Fred and McTominay. All right, you guys got bossed by a midfield with Fred and Scott McTominay. Okay, in the midfield. That's what happened today. Now I'm going to shout out. Well, let's just whew, composure. Like I said, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, guys. Get your questions in. What was your thoughts? What were your thoughts? Let's just start off with the game. Really, for me, one of the things going into this game was how is Manchester United going to start? Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going to start Twansibi, who hasn't started in goodness knows how long? What's he going to start? He went obviously with a back 3, back 5 system, which I think obviously worked. Obviously, he played Lindelof and then Shaw's left-sided centre back with Twansibi as the other right-sided centre back, and Telles and Wan-Bissaka on obviously as the fullbacks coming forward. He then played Fred and McTominay, and then he played I got that right. Yeah, Fred McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, sorry, and then Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford on top. And to be honest, we started the game well. We're quite impressive. We're quite compact. PSG looked frustrated. To be honest, I was surprised how PSG set up. I didn't expect them to play Ander Herrera and Idrissa Gueye, who I think are arguably a bit more defensive. But it is what it is. They still had Mbappe, Neymar, and Di Maria up top to cause us problems. And for the most part, we contained them. We contained them. I don't think they could really do much to us at all, if I'm perfectly honest. So I'm just tweeting this out. And yes, PSG were a threat going forward. Yes, Neymar had his flicks and tricks, what have you. But we shut them out. We shut them out. And shout out to Axel Twansibi. I'm gonna give a shout out. First, we shout from a defensive point of view before I go into the game, before we analyze the goal and the penalty. First and foremost, shout out to Axel Twansibi. Twansibi hasn't played a game of football. Like, I think he just played some under 23 stuff. He's not played senior football for more than a year. You know, and he comes on. I see Tom in the background. Tom, I'm going to bring you on in a second. I'm just going to do my just brief analysis. So I will bring you on. Twansibi, not played a game of football for more than a year in terms of professional football, comes on, bosses them, Mbappe, Neymar. Bosses them. Absolutely, totally bosses them. Brought in, I didn't even know how he'd react, but he came in and he did a job. Fair play. Luke Shaw, again, good job as a left-sided centre-back. Maybe, and this is a thing to be had, maybe going forward, this might be how we play going forward against the big teams, especially with Chelsea, obviously, at the weekend. This might be a possibility going forward. Who knows? So credit to Luke Shaw as well. Our Wan-Bissaka, man. I don't know whether what happened in the media today with him being leaked with all the sort of stuff going out and everyone bouncing him on Twitter. And our Wan-Bissaka was like, let me show you why I am one of the best defensive right backs in the world. That's what Wan-Bissaka did. It's like, okay, you're gonna bounce me on Twitter after what I did. Let me show you why I am the best defensive right back in the world. Okay, I'll say defensive and estimate because attacking one is still not great. But defensive, he is. Okay, completely dominated Neymar. Sent him for a biscuit. Neymar useless today. Useless. Okay, just useless. Wan-Bissaka tackles everything. Boom, gone. Let me get your comments, guys, because I'm talking, but I'm just so passionate. I want your thoughts. Listen to your thoughts live. I will come back. It was great. It was a great video, mate. Head over to Suspect Dreams channel, by the way. It's a great advert for the Champions League. I was a bit like, what the hell at the start, but please head over it. It was a good video. So I can come to comments. 100 bits and bobs. Shouts out to you, mate, and thank you for coming on yesterday. Check out his channel. I think it's Bits and Bobs or Bits and Bobs United. Head over there. Red Devil Weekly. Shouts out, brother. This performance was so impressive. PSG were being bossed on their home turf. If you said we were going to get this all after we got battered by Spurs, we would have laughed. Exactly. And the thing is for me, and I'm getting going on. In fact, shout out to everyone who's watching on Facebook, by the way, and on YouTube. Please share the link. And like the vid. It does go a long way. Bits says, I call it G. Long meant to continue. Certainly against the top teams. Twansibi was quality, and we have a player in terms who can actually put threatening crossing. Good vibes. So see why not. And that is the thing. Oh, I'm just going to get Tom on because it's a bit brief. But before I get him on, we were talking about how we need a centre-back. And I've said several times, if Twansibi stays fit, much like if Baye stays fit, I'm sure Solskjaer wants Twansibi and Maguire as a centre-back front. Twansibi had pace. Twansibi has ability. And if he can stay fit, we're good. I'm confident now. You know, Telles, my goodness. First game again. These guys, first debuts. First game for Manchester United, putting in crosses like that. I forgot how good crosses were. And my goodness, my goodness, it was amazing. Now, I'm just going to bring on Tom and Bilton, who's also in as well. Tom, Bilton. Tom,
Let's go.
As a Manchester United fan, because I know you're Real Madrid, Bilton. Tom, that was an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer masterclass, wasn't it?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Nobody.
He's been called a PE teacher, Tom. He's a PE teacher, apparently. He's a Norwegian PE teacher, and he's gone to Paris and dominated.
He needs a raise if he's a PE teacher.
Exactly. What were your thoughts on this game, man? What were your thoughts, man?
World class. I can't, strike anybody. Full team performance tonight. I think the main key that I think Thomas Tuchel expected Pogba to play tonight. I think he expected Pogba and maybe Van der Beek or Matic to start tonight, and they didn't. Because they was rested against Newcastle. So I think he's completely misjudged the whole layout of the team. And he stuck Matic and Fred in there, which have done amazing job tonight. Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
I can't believe how well this team has actually done. You know, this is even bigger than the game that we beat them before, if I'm being honest.
Exactly.
It's
It is.
a lot better.
And
the problem with PSG, and I'm just going to touch on PSG briefly.
Yeah, go on.
You can have the world's best attackers in the world. You can score goals, but if you can't defend and you can't keep goals out, then you're not going to win anything. It's as simple as that. If you can't defend, you don't win trophies. It's like the phrase that Sir Alex Ferguson said. It's defenses win your titles. PSG can win the French league easily. That's a farmers' league. You know, come over to the Premier League and try and do it. I bet they wouldn't. You know, Mbappe, Neymar. You know, you can play your football, should we say? But you come up against English quality like this. It was world class.
I mean, these were the Champions League. These were the Champions League finalists.
I can't say anybody didn't put in a shift tonight. De Gea, I've been the biggest critic of him. Amazing,
brilliant performance by De Gea.
That is De Gea.
Brilliant. That was prime De Gea tonight with some of those saves. I agree. I absolutely agree.
How many times I've come on here and I've said, when Axel Tuanzebe's fit, play him. Give him a game, please. Play him against top quality. He pocketed Mbappe tonight. Pocketed him. I don't care.
This is a guy who's not played, I told you on the stream, he's not played a senior game for more than a year. His first game.
And we're talking about Cavani not playing for 7 months.
That's true.
He's going to be laughing. He's going to be laughing.
Well, Cavani will be fit against PSG Old Trafford, so, you know, who knows? So we're just going to get these Tonsiva's quality, and we have a player in Tellers yet. I read that. And Mo, shout out to Mo. Awan Bambasaka is back. That goal gave him back his confidence. And Axel, wow, exactly. And Luke Shaw was immense as well. Exactly. Amazing. I agree.
You can't pick anybody, a bad apple out tonight. You can't. No, nobody. Full team performance.
Everyone played, and this I think will give us a good, because I don't know what it is. You know, this for some reason about this Ole team. I don't know what about it is, but it just seems that I almost feel like I need to hate on Ole. Not because I hate Ole, but because when people expect Manchester United, things from Manchester United, we don't perform. When no one expects anything from Manchester United, we perform. So part of me is like, psychologically, I'm like, right, okay, we're going to lose against Chelsea on the weekend. Okay, we're going to lose against Chelsea on the weekend. Let's just not give them any hope or anything like that. So they prove the haters wrong, like they did again, because it just seems like when the pressure is put on them to perform, we struggle. And that's a mentality that we need to get out of. But you know, I think that's great. I think it's good. Bilton, as a Real Madrid fan and an outside looking in, what are your thoughts?
Anyway,
oh, go ahead, Tom. Okay.
I'll see you later anyway, mate. But what a night. What a night.
It was a brilliant night. It was a brilliant night. Take care, Tom, man. Take care, man. See you in a bit.
Relax.
Bilton, relax.
But anyway, I give credit to Manchester United. PSG.
Did you expect? You didn't expect Manchester United?
I didn't expect Manchester United to win. But you can see PSG miss Thiago Silva a lot at the back. Oh my goodness! Every time Manchester United got a corner kick, you just feel like they were gonna score. PSG was scrambling in the box. They don't know what to do. And my goodness, Mbappe, he didn't really have a bad game. He was creating. He did his thing. He just didn't score. But
Neymar though.
Neymar
though.
I don't rate Neymar. I don't rate Neymar. Neymar.
Let's. Because last time when United won in Paris, people kept on saying to me, "You were lucky if Neymar was there." Oh, not you, Wilton, but just there was general like if Neymar was playing, then PSG would have won. But Neymar played today. I mean, if arguably,
that excuse doesn't make sense because PSG won the first 2-0 without Neymar playing. So I don't know why people were using that excuse. That makes no sense.
I don't know.
But Rashford was a brick. Let's be real. He was a brick for most of the game, but when you score a goal like that, that's the harsh part about football. Rashford didn't really have a good game, but since he scored a game winner, we all forget about the bad moments he had in the game. What
I would say about Rashford, though, and this is the thing, which he was always a danger to PSG on the break on the night. I agree that his finishing was bad, but the positions he was getting into and causing the PSG defense problems, he was running. So it was inevitable at some points, because they couldn't really deal with him on the break, that was going to happen. Like, it wasn't like the way Wan-Bissaka, for example, dealt with Neymar the whole game. Yeah. He just dealt with Neymar for the whole game. I'm sorry. Wan-Bissaka just dealt with Neymar. Yeah, I don't think the PSG defense really dealt with, this is a guy who... Wan-Bissaka is a guy who had I don't know if you look on Twitter, the whole thing of him cheating and stuff like that, and everyone bantering him. Now I'm like, mate, if you're gonna play like that when you get this, then for goodness sake, go and do whatever you want, you know.
But what a game though! What a masterclass by Ole! Like oh my goodness! Like it's like you said, when you don't expect Manchester United to win, for some reason you guys do win. Just like this weekend, I'm expecting Chelsea to win, but I feel like Manchester United is gonna win now because this is a really big boost for Manchester United going into the weekend.
I think you also got to as I said earlier in the stream and shout to people in the comments as well. I'll get to comments in a second. That where we're obviously the system changed, so that's something. Weren't playing a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. We're playing a 5-3-2, 3-5-2 cover formation with four backs in Twansim and Telles. And like I said, it was Telles' debut. He's probably he was good.
He was good. He was good.
A lot of crosses. I think it's the first time in a while when we actually got a fullback who's very good going forward, defensively sound, and puts in crosses in the box. So for me, that's going to make a very big difference to Manchester United going forward because suddenly,
I needed that because Wan-Bissaka, he's so good at defending, but attacking, he's not that good at attacking. But De Gea, I've been criticizing him a lot, but he made some really key saves today, man. Like De Gea was very big today. Like
he was very big.
Why do you guys play better without Maguire?
I mean, well, this is an argument. This is an argument that's to be had. How Maguire wasn't playing, you know. So and it's not so much. This is the thing. It's not so much for me. Okay, the Spurs. I think people should treat the Spurs as a blip. Okay, like I don't think because people are Spurs. I think if you look. Let's look at Ole from January, from Bruno Fernandes coming in. Instead of like, let's just judge the whole United on Spurs. Let's look at how United have been since January. Maguire clearly, needs pace alongside him. That's the thing. The big thing about Maguire that helps is that Maguire is good in the air. So for example, in that corner, generally, 90% of the time, if Maguire was in that centre position, we wouldn't concede that goal.
We won't concede that goal.
No, because Maguire would be like, right, it's mine. I'll head it away. That's it. You know, so we wouldn't concede the goal. Obviously, Martial heads in. It is what it is. You know, so but we wouldn't do that. We haven't really conceded as much from set pieces, give or take one or two, generally with him there. That's what he adds, and he does score from time to time. But the pace on the break, and I think if Maguire was playing tonight with Lindelof, we would have caused problems. I don't actually think that you could have played him in a back three. I think it was right for him to play Lindelof left-sided and Luke Shaw, and then Twansebe right side. He might have done one side. I don't know. But my point is, like, he needs pace. Basically, he needs pace. He needs pace alongside. And Twansebe was that pace. That's what we were missing because obviously he just came back. So you know, it is what it is. So I'll just, before I get to go on. Like
Tom was saying, PSG, you may have the best attack in the world, but if you can't defend, you're not gonna win the Champions League. I know they made the Champions League final last year, but let's be real, who they were playing against? Atalanta, Leipzig. When they get to the final, they're clinical enough. But my thing with PSG is Thomas Tuchel a really good coach? Because it's like PSG, they rely on Mbappe and Neymar and Di Maria to do something individually for them to win games. Well, in the French League, we all know they're going to win that. But when it comes to the Champions League, you're going against an elite team. That's not going to work. Like Mbappe, he didn't really have a bad day today. He just couldn't score today for some reason. De Gea was like De Gea that like the one we know and love.
He turned up. He turned up. And this is the thing. Like, it's like, this is the frustrating thing about Manchester United sometimes, is that, like, we have a good squad, and, you know, for whatever people say about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like, we have played
The other thing too, Mason Greenwood and Cavani didn't play today too. So imagine that. Like,
Pogba and Van der Beek were barely playing.
Yeah, exactly. And Pogba gave the assist to Rashford. So imagine that. So
exactly.
So, but PSG desperately need Verratti. They need Verratti in that midfield because that midfield lacks creativity. Oh my goodness, it's like Neymar had to drop deep in midfield to help Mbappe. usually when Verratti is there, they could name up
doesn't have
like
to do that.
yeah, he doesn't have to do that.
But
and he couldn't.
But it is all tactical, though. I mean,
that's why I'm saying that's why I'm saying how good is Thomas Tuchel really?
Yeah,
how good is he?
Because if you looked at that starting lineup for any observer, and people saw Freddie McTominay in the midfield, people would have gone, "Yeah, it's a PSG masterclass, isn't it?" let's be real. That's what people would have said. That's what people would have said. They would have said that. You know,
I said the same thing too because I didn't see Pogba starting, so I was like,
yeah. That's what people would have said, and yet it wasn't the case, you know. So just because if anyone wants to come on, so I'll post if you want to come onto the show. Obviously, Vilton's honest trend. I'll post that the link is in the chat. So please go on if you want to come on. Just reading some of the comments. Bits go Manchester United. Bibs Hakeem says nice game, Man U 2-1. Raymond Moore, shout out to you, Raymond Moore, long-time member. Great game, G. Mo says it's the mark of Big Clay. He's still 22 years away. This is what people need to think about. This is Rashford, by the way, because I'm not here to say that Marcus Rashford is world class, but people forget that Marcus Rashford is only 22, and he's talked about like he's been in the game. He's like a senior pro for ages.
I think it's because of his debut season. Maybe people are expecting way more out of him.
And I get that, but it's just like the way the people. I'm not going to start here and say Rashford's better than Mbappe, even though I tweeted it. I'm not going to say that.
Just like with H, I was on Twitter. This guy was saying Mbappe is declining. How is Mbappe declining? He's only 21.
Yeah, but my point is that like I feel for me with Rashford and with people still look at Mbappe in terms of potential still. In terms of potential with Rashford, it's like, oh, you know, he why is he good? He's never going to be world class. He's not going to do this. He's not going to, etc. It's like this is a guy who has scored. Whatever you say about him, has scored clutch Champions League goal
last year, this season,
and I do take HH's point about Harry Kane. I'm not saying Rashford is better than Harry Kane, but again,
he's more clutch.
It's clutch. You score a penalty against PSG to get through. You score a penalty. You score a sweet finish. It wasn't a crap goal. It was a sweet finish.
Navas, there's nothing Navas could have done.
No, nothing Navas could have done at all. You know what I mean? Let me just quickly tell us something special. PSG VS United washed PSG fraud team. Certain players are better at playing a certain way. That is true, and I think there has to be a conversation about how United sets up. Like the vid, guys, if you're watching, by the way, like the vid. Most says we have a flexible squad. We can play in many different ways. It's both a blessing and a curse. That's true. Just play Twan Sebian by Maguire has a bad influence on defense. Possibly Twan Sebian by is definitely an option. I still think the thing is Lindelof didn't have a bad game today either. To be fair to him, you know.
Like I said, the entire United defense was elite today. If Martial doesn't score that own goal, I don't think PSG scored. In the final third, PSG was so bad in the final. It's like, oh, Mbappe, here's the ball. Create something, score a goal. Yeah. Neymar drop deep in midfield, pass the ball to Mbappe and Di Maria. Yeah. Besides from that shot, that great save De Gea made by him, Di Maria didn't really do anything in the entire game.
It's like I said. I think now at the very least, the one thing I want to get from this thing is that people need to at least give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer some respect. That's it, okay? You don't do this type of performance if you're just a PE teacher, if you have no tactics, if you're lucky. I don't want to hear anyone say United were lucky tonight. We weren't lucky tonight. We weren't. It was a tactical masterclass, is what I put it. It's a tactical masterclass. So whatever happens to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going forward, like this, he clearly has tactics. Okay,
he clearly knows
how to play.
He just needs the players that he
just needs the players. And we saw with Alex Telles, once you've got a fullback who can actually go forward and actually cross the ball, suddenly United look dangerous. You know what I mean? So let me just bring in BB in mate. Bro.
But I gotta go though right there.
How you doing? How you doing? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, man. Take care, Vilton, man. See you in a bit, Chief.
G, can you hear me, yeah?
I can hear Bob. I can hear Bob, man. I can hear. What are
you? I told you.
You did tell me. You did tell me.
I told you.
You did. You did.
Do you know what? Give Ollie his flowers, man. Give him his flowers, bro.
Yep.
I think. Do you know what? you've got to actually, before you even talk about Man United, PSG played in the Champions League final 4 months ago. What the hell? You know? Hello. Anyway, enough about them. Bonjour. Ça va? To all the French people watching. I think, do you know what? I put a comment saying certain players can play certain systems. And to be honest, from the goalkeeper right to the two strikers, everyone played their part, played their position. Ole isn't stupid, obviously. Okay? It obviously shows that he needs the players to play a certain way. And, you know, there was no Harry Maguire today, and that's not any to say that we didn't need them. But see, for this system, where you need composure, pace, and not just pace that you can go forward, recovery pace, you know? And I think it just grew confidence and confidence and confidence. You know, last time they said PSG didn't have Neymar, and, well, they had Neymar and Mbappe, and these are not two rubbish players. These two are world-class players. So for me, for Axel not to play for 1 year, to be able to just go and do that.
Yeah, you know, just say to Mbappe,
sit down, bro. Not today, man.
Sit down, not just basically.
Do you know what I mean? Chest and biceps, bro. Do you know what I mean? Simple. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Chest and biceps, man. Bro.
Just like, no. That's it's not happening, man. It's just I don't know. You know, every player, and this is the thing. Like, it's like whenever there's discussion, I'm going to be doing a Chelsea preview later in the week about how United set up against the big teams, because I can see, for example, we play like that, we'll beat Manchester City, we'll beat Chelsea, we'll beat those types of teams in the way that we play. You know, so and there is an argument to be had of, do we play like that going forward? What is the reality of the likes of Pogba and Van der Beek, for example? Do you actually play Fred and McTominay in those positions, for example? Because quite frankly, in this system, Fred and McTominay looked okay. I think McTominay had a good game, for one of the best games he's had in a while, to be honest. You know,
I agree with you. And do you know what the funny thing is? Remember yesterday we were talking tactics. Do you know? I've got to. I don't want to bring any other team up, but do you know Ancelotti has a player called James Rodriguez, and to allow him to flourish, he needs a runner and he needs someone who can screen. Ole has an energetic, tenacious, box-to-box player in Fred. Fred punches the ball forward. And you have Scott McSauce, okay, who can screen, who can be tenacious and do a job. Then that releases Bruno. And we've noticed that in a certain system, Bruno and Pogba can play in a certain system, but initially it just shows that the way we set up, it suits our players. It suits Bruno. Did you notice that on the screen when we didn't have the ball, then when we attacked, it was Bruno, Rashford, Martial, and then Fred joined. And then as soon as we lost the ball, they got right back into shape, you know?
Exactly. The discipline, and this thing, it's not like we played 3-5 this system. Like, this is probably the first time we played the system all season. With obviously a few new players coming in. And he did a very, very good job about it, you know. So, I mean, just a few quick points before I get into the player ratings, you know. So, because I think it's probably a good idea to just talk about, like, obviously the 3 goals just quite quickly. The first goal, I don't have any doubts it was a penalty. Some people say it was soft, but I think it was a penalty on Martial. Good turn by Martial. I was laughing. I was when we got that penalty. I just put a tweet out. I was like, Europe as well. Penalty, Fernandes, like it's just we don't hide. We don't hide. We get penalties all the time.
If you don't want us to take penalties, stop fouling us in the box.
No,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Stop fouling. You know, like stop fouling. I was like, stop fouling Anthony Martial. Stop fouling Anthony Martial. It's as simple as that, you know. So we get, and you know, Bruno Fernandes obviously he stuttered and he missed it. I was like, oh, for goodness sake, he missed the penalty. We could have sort of gone ahead. But let's be real. Kylian Navas was way off his line. He was
rules are rules.
You know, it's
after
rules.
He took it. Rules are rules.
Even if like there was no VAR, like I would still demand to be taken again, because it wasn't like he was like. Because I think you have to, the rules you have to have. I think Is it both feet on the line or at least one?
One foot has to be on the line.
One foot has to be on the line. Neither were, and he almost looked like a yard off his line. 100%. It was that far off. It was ridiculous. So we retook it. Bruno Fernandes scored, and we're thinking. And to be honest, from that point in the half, we kind of PSG did come into it towards the end of the first half, but I never thought that we were threatened. And De Gea made 1 or 2 good saves. Second half, obviously PSG come into it with an own goal from Anthony Martial from a set piece. Not really sure what he was doing there, to be honest, turning away from the ball. I do think whatever you say about Harry Maguire, one of the things that he does is that we aren't as vulnerable from set pieces in that sense. So if he is in the box, he will be like, it's my head, it's ball. So if Harry Maguire was in that position, I'm not saying in the game, but in that position, he probably would have headed the ball and we wouldn't have had a problem in that respect. And you're thinking 1-1, I'm thinking, it's a bit nervous, etc. Just had to do something, came back. And then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer brings on Pogba, and we look more dangerous. Because PSG were coming into the game, we're getting a bit funny. He brings on Pogba, and suddenly we're actually dominating the midfield, in my opinion. PSG don't seem to have a reply. We, to be honest, look like the better team in the last 15, 20 minutes of the game. And then Marcus Rashford, that goal, wow.
Do you know, I was cussing him in the sense, when I say cuss him, because earlier he had 2 chances to run towards the goalkeeper and have a strike, but he didn't. And then, he was caught in 2 minds. And I think that's the difference between him and a world-class striker. Decision making, But listen,
that's true. But one thing that we say with Rashford is that he comes up with clutch moments.
I was 100%.
I was having a conversation about Harry Kane. I think Harry Kane is a much better striker than Marcus Rashford. But the thing is, when has Harry Kane, when push comes to shove, scored in clutch moments? I can't think of many. Did he score in the Champions League when he came on? Even over the weekend when West Ham are basically
when you bottled
it. You know what I mean? So it's not just about how much you score; it's also about when you score. When you score the goals, so that's a difference between 3 points. And now suddenly everyone's saying Manchester United aren't going to qualify from this group. There's a question mark potentially on PSG not qualifying from this group because RPF are no pushovers. I get that PSG beat them. I see they're not without Werner, but they could do something if PSG play like the way they did against Manchester United. So
did you notice another thing though? When PSG equalised, they were obviously on the front foot. However, we rid the storm. We defended well. And we also were potent in attack. And do you know what? I think, I know the fan base is split and stuff, but do you know what? We all support Manchester United. And right now, they are winning games, And I dare say, if this was Fergie, they'd have said it was a masterclass.
I'm saying it's a masterclass.
But I'm saying it with you, but I'm just saying, so I think that PSG, if they're playing like that, you've got to think, well, are you going to be able to compete? Because people might say, Man United are not the same. However, we've went there, scored 2 goals and won the game. Now, RB Leipzig were thinking, well, if we have a go at them,
exactly.
You could do something. And I just felt that PSG just looked spineless. There was no leadership.
It's weird. They looked kind of like us at the beginning of the season in terms of kind of like lethargic. They weren't kind of really I expected, to be honest, them from the get-go. I was like, right, okay, they're going to go out first. It's going to be 1-2s. They're going to be pressurized. I didn't see that. What I saw was, let's get it to Neymar and Mbappe to get them to try and do something. And it's like, yeah, that's fine, but you're up against Saka though, who was like, no,
I just can't hide my excitement, man. I'm so happy. And do you know what? I've said to you, I support Man United, and if Ole's the manager, he's the manager. Ole in, Ole out, whatever. I think we just need to get behind the team, and also I think we just need to trust him because it's obvious he has a game plan.
He needs the players, Bob. This is the thing.
That's it. Players, isn't it?
Like you saw. I'm going to stress Tellers again.
Oh my God! Oh my goodness! What are we saying, bro?
We've got a guy now who's a fullback who can go forward, who's defensively decent and can put in a cross. So
Case closed, bro. We've got a left back now.
So this is what I'm saying. So you give him the players, you back him. For goodness sake, you back him, and then see what happens. You know, I mean, fingers crossed, Twansibi can stay fit for us for the rest of the season. Because if you got a fit Twansibi, then you got obviously Maguire, Lindelof, and Bayers options. Then at least I think we can I'm a bit more confident that we can potentially secure at least top 4 this season. And the way the season, potentially even more. Because, like, I'm looking at Chelsea, I'm looking at City, I'm looking at Poole, I'm looking at the other teams. You're like, right, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
And you know, we've got to look at the way Telles played. I think you saw the difference when you had an attacking fullback that first intention was to go forward. Look at the balance, you know.
Hold up. So just tactical manager says, to be honest, we got lucky. PSG's got because people think, nah.
Tactical manager, mate. Nah, I'm not having that, bro.
Team. No. You can't call this win luck. I agree but let's be real. United and no team isn't just United. Bear in mind, Barcelona with Messi, PK, and Suarez went to PSG in Paris and got bounced 5-1. People need to remember that. We're a better team, I would argue. But I'm not saying this team is perfect. But you can't say, because let's be real here, United were not going to go to PSG to dominate PSG. That was not the game plan. I knew that was never going to be the game plan. So to expect a kind of free-flowing, attacking, let's impose that was never going to be the plan. The plan was always going to be have a good shape, be defensively solid, and then basically hit them on a counter-attack and break. I knew that was going to be the plan first and foremost. PSG not being that good of a team, that's a fair point. But the reality is that, you know, even United fans before the game were saying Mbappe and Neymar are going to completely destroy this this team. That's what people were saying. You know, that's what people. So some United fans, I think, need to take an L here, and they do at least need to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer some credit here, because you have to give him some credit. It's not just a fluke that Ole's gone to Paris and won twice now, and Neymar was playing here. You know, it's you know.
You know, the funny thing is, if Mbappe and Neymar weren't playing, they'd say, "Oh, Mbappe and Neymar weren't playing." Well, now they're playing. They played. You know. So what can you say? Give Ole his flowers. Give him his flowers, man. Because listen, he outplayed Tuchel. Tuchel didn't have an answer for him, you know. And can we just say, the way we were crossing the ball today, can we imagine Cavani getting on the end of these balls, please?
Exactly. Who could, and he can also hold up the ball as well. So you've got another.
You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't impressed with McTominay, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not saying this is the thing. This is the thing. I'm not trying to say that.
Man, he's Scottish. I need to back him.
I'm not saying that McTominay was the best player on the field, but like he had a good game today. Like, he made quite a lot of good interceptions. He did his role, and that's all I expect in the system that he's playing in. I don't think he can play in the 4-3-3 system or the 4-2-3-1 that we play. I think that Fred is better in that way, and even Matic. But in the position that he was playing in, I think he was fine. Suspect Dreams always does stuff like this. Always has done. Some people think he might get stuck. Riot fans low-key wanting stuff like this to happen, so that his club is run by a yes man. Maybe. I don't know. But, you know, worry about beating Cadets, man. That's all I can say, Madrid. Also, won't win anything, and there's no more progression. How many times has it happened where Olga beats top dog and keeps his job only because of that? Well, what do you mean by progression, though? He finished third in the league last year and got to 3 semi-finals.
Yeah.
That was progression on last season. Like, it's only been... we literally only played 4 games this season. We've won 2. We've got another one a game. Like, you know, and at the start of the season, we were unfit. You know, like, I get you, but I think, one, you need to worry about Real Madrid, okay? I think because I think there's an issue there with that team. But 2, like, all I'm saying from the chat, I'm not saying United are going to win the CL, United are going to win the Premier League, anything like that. All I'm saying is, for the people who said Neymar and Mbappe are going to destroy Manchester United today, which many people did, including United fans, give some respect to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his players for having a good performance. That's it.
Yes,
that's it.
100%, 100%.
And
do you know? Can we go back to the McTominay, Scott McSauce? Yeah. Listen, I'm Scottish, so I'm gonna back him right now. Yeah. Do you know what Scott McTominay is? He's the modern day Darren Fletcher, the modern day John O'Shea. Listen, there's some players, right, that just go in, do a job, and that's what they do. They do a job, and in that system, it suits him 100%. He will track back. He will stay disciplined, and also aerial threat. He is a presence, and I understand the guy says he didn't do anything. He just basically won a game against Herrera. I believe it's Danilo and your other man. He contained Neymar coming inside. Listen, look, you can only beat what's in front of you, man. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly. I know what the hate is, and even this comment, like I said, suspect. You've got to worry about Cardiff, man. So it's a damn now bad coach because he can't beat a recently promoted La Liga team. And as far as Brighton and Palace, I said it multiple times before that like this team was clearly not match fit. If you watch the Newcastle game, one of the things we've seen is that the team at least look fitter. So I can't judge Brighton and Palace because, to be honest, people need to realize United and City in particular, because they both started quite slow, finished their season later than most teams. We didn't get a pre-season, and most players didn't play any games. It was their first game, so they look match fit. So I think it's reasonable now. That's why I'm judging Manchester United now, because they've got a couple of games under their belt now. For me, the season starts with Newcastle, because after the international break, people are fit, they've got their games. Now let's go. So that's my 2 cents. Team Takagi, Fred was your best player last season before Bruno came. Baldwin's less than Pogba on the bench, but work. I think part of that is because both Fred and Bruno speak Portuguese. I'm not saying that as like a thingy thing, but I generally think that the communication from a language point of view actually helps. And when Fred has played with Bruno, if you actually watch the game against Sevilla where we lost, where I think it was Fred, Pogba, and Bruno in that midfield, we actually played well. We created chances. We lost that game because of our defense, which is now better. Yeah.
100%, 100%. Pass the Fred, man. That's all we need to say, bro.
That was 4 years ago. Yeah, but they still had a very good team then, didn't they? And
exactly.
It was 5-1. Yeah, but it is what it is. Just suspect. Just worry about Real Madrid. That's all I'm saying. Just worry about them.
Who does he support?
Real Madrid. So I bantered. I bantered Cardiff enough now. Cardiff. Guys. But I'm not here saying that Zidane is a bad coach. All their players are trash. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Even United fans thought we're going to get destroyed because exactly that is. From tonight, we're going to get into player ratings. Let me know what you think. So because I've got to round up here. Almost been streaming for an hour now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the vid, like the vid, everybody. All I'm saying from this whole thing, I'm not even saying that people should even be Ole in. All I'm saying is that from this performance, at least give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer some credit. It wasn't luck. It wasn't a fluke. There was clearly a game plan. Okay, this was not a random assortment of sort of players coming together and hoping for the best. There was a plan by the coach and it was executed. And all the players worked hard. The players clearly are playing for the manager as well. So rather than saying, get this manager in, disrupt the coach, blah, 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 let's give some respect to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and for once, just band together and support Manchester United if you're a Manchester United fan. That's all I'm saying.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Support Manchester United, man. Support. Right. Okay. Player ratings. So let's obviously start with in fact, let me get a see if I can get a thingy up that will be easy to sort of 2 seconds. If not, then I'll just look. Just see if I can find a team I can use. It's BBC. 2 seconds, everybody. Nice. Okay. Right. Okay. Player ratings. So first and foremost, David De Gea. I'm going to give David De Gea a 9. I'm going to give David De Gea a 9. Sorry, I'm going to spell David because this was prime David De Gea. This was actually prime David De Gea. Prime. He made several key clutch saves in that game, and he showed. And maybe it's the rivalry with Dean
Henderson.
Dean Henderson, just much like when Brandon Williams came in to Luke Shaw, possibly. Yeah. But I think I give him a 9. I know he's a keeper. I gave him a 9. I gave him a 9 because he made some very, very good saves, and it was good to see De Gea back and to see his confidence. I don't know what you think, Bob.
I think, I'm going to go with a 9 because the magnitude of this game, you know, and especially with no Maguire, you know, back 3 that haven't played together, you know. So yeah, I go with a 9 as well.
Fair enough. Luke Shaw. I'm gonna give an 8. Actually, I'm gonna give an 8. I'm gonna be quite generous with my marks because the team played very well. Did what he needed to do in the left side centre back position, and again, I think I've said it several times that he seems to play better in this system as a left side centre back than, to be honest, a fullback. So I think it's good that now United have options potentially, and that if we're going to go down this line, you can have a situation where you have, if we play a back 4, you play Telles. But if we play like a back 3, back 5, you push Telles up as the wing back, and now you can play Luke Shaw as a left-sided centre back. I think that's a good option to have, and I think in this system, I think Luke Shaw plays well. I don't know, is that what you think?
Yeah, I echoed that because I think today you saw Luke Shaw being good on the ball, being good defensively. I think also we need to remember that he was also headering the ball and dangerous when they were crossing the ball. He was covering. So I think this system suits him so well. I don't think he has the legs anymore to get up and down. You know, he's always struggled with his weight. So yeah, a 9. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I beg your pardon, not a 9, an 8. 8, yeah.
Real Madrid loses the Cadets isn't the answer to why you're not getting played. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has 2 losses in the Premier League since January, which is less than Pep and Frank Lampard and Carlo Ancelotti and several other managers, and even Klopp and several managers in the league. So I don't know what else there is to say. Like,
listen, suspect dream, man. You can't argue facts with opinions, bro. Just remember that, man. You know.
Wan-Bissaka.
Oi! Who's that, my man?
I'm tempted to even put Wan-Bissaka as my man of the match, to be honest. I really am. Because he's got, for me, he's a 10. Because this was like prime. I know going forward, he's not the greatest, but with everything that happened today, with him being bantered, I'm sure he saw the stuff on social media. On top of the fact that he was in charge of basically dealing with Neymar, you know, and to a lesser extent Mbappe at times. He was just like, no, that's it. Like this performance is why Alan Wan-Bissaka is the best defensive fullback in the world. Attacking wise, complete fullback, no, he's nowhere near there. Probably even Alphonso Davies is better. But as a defensive fullback, there can be no argument that Alan Wan-Bissaka is the best in the world. There can be no argument. There surely can be no argument after that performance. You're not going to see Trent do that at all, you know. Nope. But go on.
No, I think you're right, and I'm going to give him a 10 as well because I think obviously what happened in the media the night before obviously probably didn't help, but it just shows that how professional he is. And to be honest, I personally think he enjoys the defending. You know, he actually wants the winger to entice him and say, "Come on." And yes, defensive wise, he's the best right back in the world. You know, I don't see Trent or any other fullback standing Neymar off like that. So yeah, 10. Him and Axel was a tie, but I think just with the tackles, I think Wan-Bissaka for me is my man at the match.
Next is Alex Telles. I'm going to give Alex Telles an 8.5. We do 0.5, so I'm going to give him 8.5. Because like as someone who literally has just been like, right, okay, I've just come from Porto. This is my first game for Manchester United. Brilliant. He's the fullback that we've desperate. I mean, it's still too early to say, We'll see what happens. But early signs looking good, looking really good, because we've got a fullback now who could cross, who can go forward, and is relatively defensively sound. Where has that been for Manchester United Football Club? You know, would you agree?
Yes, I would. I think the case is closed. We've got a left back now, so everyone relax. Let him come in, play. You know, and did you notice he didn't even seem phased? Obviously, he's played in a big club at Porto. He didn't seem phased. He'd done his job. You know, and can we just take a notice that when it came to set pieces, he relinquished Bruno from that side, and it looked so much balanced and better. So yeah, I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8 because I think it was a solid debut, which we forget. It's a debut.
Exactly.
You know?
Even more so why when people say, oh, we got lucky, I'm like, and all this sort of stuff, I'm like, guys, Twansibi hasn't played for 18 months, and Alexa tells us this is his debut. You know, come on. Like, you know what I mean? You know, so
exactly.
It's yes, you know, it was luck in the sense that these players clicked, but we've got to give credit to those players and to the manager. You know, like come on. You know, I think sometimes it's difficult because this is the thing I find sometimes that you see, you know, when players have been and managers have been criticized, when they come back and prove people wrong, it's a lot of the Twitter fans and fanboys, etc. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. I agree, they're all entitled to opinion, but it's a lot harder sometimes, I've noticed, for some of these people to actually admit that they were wrong at least once. To be like, listen, I hold my hands up. I was wrong about this whole situation. It's almost like you'd rather be proven right so you can rant and tweet and just say, yeah, I was right, than actually accept that you need to take an L. And I would have taken a massive L, even though I said that I think United were going to draw this game. That's why I thought. So 1-1, I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I expected. Good result. I didn't expect us to win. I don't think anyone did.
Except for me.
Yeah. Twansibi. I'm going to give Twansibi a 9 because I said that one was mine, but now as a 9. This guy has not played football for 8. I think it must be 18 months. No.
Yes.
Maybe or somewhat 15 months, something like that. He's not played football for ages, and he comes in and he says to Mbappe, "You're not the greatest player in the world." Just so you know, Mbappe, I'm sorry, you're not the greatest player in the world. You're not. I'm going to turn you into, I'm going to turn you into B-Tech Benteke. That's how. Now, to no disrespect to Mbappe, actually, I think had a good game. Actually, I think he had a much better game than Lamar or Junior. So I'm going to call him now from now on, Junior, not Neymar, just Junior. But he had a very good game in my opinion. So 9. What would you think?
I'm going to give him a 9.5 because obviously, as I said earlier, between him and Wan-Bissaka, I personally think they were readying this guy for this game. I think they targeted this game. I think what Ole's going to be doing with him is managing him. He's obviously injury prone. So, he's probably going to play certain games. And if we can get 20, 25 games out of him, I think it'll be good. And to say to Mbappe, as we say in Scotland, not tonight, son.
Not tonight.
Not tonight, son.
Not today, not ever. End of discussion.
9.5. 9.5.
Victor Lindelof to complete the last sort of sentiment pairing. I'll give Victor Lindelof... I'll give him a 7.5, not because he had a bad game, but just because, I feel that all the other defenders in that back foot outperformed him. I don't think he had to do a lot, but to be honest, he didn't do much wrong. As people have already said, there is a question to be had where, Maguire's not there, and we do okay. But again, is that because of the system we're playing? Or is it because of him actually as an individual? I think there's still the word is out for that. I don't know what your thoughts are on the score. What would you give Lindelof?
I'm going to give him an 8 because he was part of a defense that kept Mbappe and Neymar quiet, and he still had to do a job. He wasn't just there, just standing doing anything. He was good on the ball. He covered. He showed strength, and sometimes in his one-on-one duels. I also think that no Maguire, no problem. So I think some people will say, "Oh, it's Harry. We need Harry." However, I actually think when we assess the situation, I personally, in my opinion, I think Lindelof's better than Harry Maguire. And I think it should be who should play with Lindelof. Because if we look at the attributes Harry Maguire and Lindelof have, I mean, Harry probably edges him in the aerial ability, So yeah, so he gets an 8 because he was part of the defence that played well.
Fair enough. Next, Scott McTominay. I'm probably going to give someone similar to Victor Lindelof. I know you're Scottish. You're going to defend him to win. And again, that's not because I think Scott McTominay had a bad game. I just feel that other players on the field, in my opinion, stood out and had a better game. But I do think that Scott McTominay did what he needed to do. And again, maybe in the system that we probably will get the best out of Scott McTominay. So I give him a 7.5. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Listen, Scott McSauce, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think Scott McSauce is gonna get an 8 from me. We forget though he got booked, So
that is true.
To show the temperament and the discipline, to be able to carry on and perform. Look, he's not gonna be. People aren't gonna say they're gonna pay to go watch him, no, but he's gonna do a job. And he's going to be, and we had in Fergie's era, we had loads of players like that done a job, So no, he gets an 8, solid 8.
Solid 8, okay. Yeah. Pastor Fred. Yes. Pastor Fred, who seems to be, I'll give Pastor Fred, I'll give him an 8.5. I'm going to give him 8.5. Again, did his role very, very well, communicate with Bruno Fernandes, defensively tenacious. This guy, I think, is one of the most underrated players at Manchester United, and I think a lot of fans give him stick because I don't know what they expect from him. But again, and I genuinely believe when he plays with Bruno, I don't know if it's the language barrier, I don't know if it's the communication, but I feel like they get the best out of each other. I genuinely think that, and I think that it might have to be a communication thing. Obviously, both speaking Portuguese and what have you. So Fred, for me, brilliant performance again, 8.5. What are your thoughts?
I'm going to give Pastor Fred an 8 because I think that people forget last season he was one of our best players, and that was with no Pogba, no Bruno. If you see, like I said earlier, Fred releases Bruno, releases Pogba, and Fred is an athlete, but the thing, look, if Fred was 6'1" or something, they'd say he's athletic, he's can do box to box. He does that. He's tenacious. The reason I'm only going to give him an 8 is because there was times where I felt he was diving in, and and there was times I felt where he could have released the ball a bit better and quicker. So yeah, an 8.
Moving on. Sorry, we're almost an hour gone. I apologize for everyone. Just look at some comments. Is there a Discord, Joe? No, there's not, unfortunately, but you can click the link to come on if you would like. I do need to set up a Discord actually at some point. I just haven't yet, so I apologize. But thank you for coming in, and make sure you like the vid. It goes a long way. Where are we now? Okay, Bruno Fernandes. Captain Bruno Fernandes, and this is another debate. Bruno Fernandes was captain, and he captained us to a win against PSG. Does he retain the captaincy? In my opinion, he should. In my opinion, Bruno Fernandes should resolve the captaincy. And for me, much like Fred, I don't think Bruno Fernandes was the best player. I bet he scored the penalty. I'm going to give Bruno Fernandes an 8.5 for his leadership, for his ability on the ball, and he's just a good player for us, mate. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on Bruno.
I give him a 9 because initially you saw his media reaction to this is not why I'm giving him, but you saw his media reaction when he found out he was becoming captain. This is a guy that understands the situation he's in. He's at Manchester United. He understands. He's at a big club. He also is a character. And he was captain at his previous club. So, wearing that armband, I don't think it affected how he played. If I'm honest with you, it kind of complimented him. You could be like, oh yeah, he's captain, He took the penalty. had to retake again
Thank
now.
goodness.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
However, right, some players would give up the duty, but
That's
he was
true.
like, "No, I'm taking it," and he scored it. He believed in himself. He was like, "No, I'm doing this. I'm scoring." And his
true.
all-round gameplay and the way he dictated some of the game, he also helped us in defense, you know, and attack. The system suited him to a T. So I'm going to give him a 9 because he scored and he captained us to a win.
Awesome. Moving in for a second. Raymond says, Scott McTominay did a dirty job for us. We need a Roy Keane type of player. That is true. Almost run. Okay, so
Yes,
last
Raymond.
before we round off. Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial,
he's not played. Gee, he's not played.
He's not played. He's not played. I'll give him 7. Maybe 7 would be reasonable. Again, not because he was bad. It was the worst player on the field. So, but I mean, the own goal didn't help. I don't think he switched off there. He's not played for a while. He did at times seem a bit off the pace, but again, I think I've seen in this system in a 3-5-2 when Anthony Martial and Rashford to lesser extent have actually struggled. I think that if you had someone like Cavani, because I don't think that Marcus Rashford and Rashford are good at holding up the ball. They're good at breaking, which is what we did, but holding up the ball, I don't think they are good. And I think if Cavani comes into the system, you might get more out of them. But for me, I'd give Martial 7. I don't know what would you think, Bob?
I agree with you, 7. I've not really got much to say on Martial. I think he was obviously frustrated. You know, it's a good sign in a striker that he obviously knows he's not scored. But yeah, he can hold up the ball. However, he likes to get involved in play. You know, other than other centre forwards that stay central. You know, so a 7. I agree with you, G. Yeah.
Fair enough. And then last but not least, the man of the hour, Marcus Jeremiah Rashford. Marcus Rashford. MBE. Remember that. Feeding the kids tonight. That's what Rashford's doing. Feed the world. Let them know it's Rashford time. Let them know it's Rashford time, man. Like, feed the world. Let them know it's Rashford time. That should be. That should be a new Manchester United chant. In fact, actually, yeah. I'm gonna
tweet that.
No, tweet that. Feed the world. Let them know it's Rashford time. Feed the world. Let them know it's Rashford. I'm actually gonna get that trending, guys. Coming up to Christmas, let's get that trending, guys. Trend it. Feed the world. Let them know it's Rashford time. Okay, please. I'm gonna tweet actually. That I literally just came up with that on the spot, man. It's just brilliant. But yeah, for me, he gets. I'm gonna give him a 9, even though I think I agree that for a lot of the game, he actually didn't play well, but he came clutch. And as I've said several times on the show, it's not about how much you score; it's about when you score. Okay, you can score 5 or 6 against Istanbul, great, and I hope we do. But in key moments. In key decisive moments is we're scoring. And we're at a situation where Manchester United could potentially top the group. Who would have thought that? I'm not saying we're going to dominate RB Leipzig, this boy, etc. But United could top the group. We could. You know, we could certainly, if we beat Istanbul home and away with 9 points, you could argue we're pretty much qualified. Yep. We just need to not lose to RB Leipzig twice. You think about it, I expect we'll beat Istanbul. You know, if we just don't lose to Leipzig 1 game, we're through. We're through. This was Manchester United's hardest game of the group on paper.
Yep.
And we won it. You know? So yeah, feed the world, Marcus Rashford 9. What are your thoughts, mate?
I agree with a 9. He does. You know, the funny thing about Rashford is that Rashford can irate you, annoy you. And then boom, he scores. You know, he's just sometimes I think, are you good enough to play for Manchester United? When I see certain things he does, and then he does stuff, scores some fantastic, brilliant goals. Then you're like, yeah, this is why he played for Man United. I think a 9 for today. You know, déjà vu. He scores the winning goal again. You know, in Paris. So a 900%. I just wish he was more consistent. You know, but listen, numbers don't lie, and he scores again. You know.
Awesome. Right, guys. Thanks everyone who's watching. Raymond Moss says Sir Rashford is playing well again. Man, he is, and hopefully he takes that confidence going to Chelsea. Stay tuned for our Chelsea preview, where hopefully at Have Hope will be on, where we're having an interesting conversation about United versus Chelsea. Given the fact that Chelsea, I think it was a draw. Was it 0-0 against Sevilla? Some boring dead ass game.
Wow, they drew. Wow.
I think they drew against Sevilla. So this is the thing. As far as I'm aware, all of Chelsea's signings were available. Chelsea signed all their signings; they were all available. You got Ziyech, Pulisic is there, Havertz is there, Thiago Silva is there, Ben Chilwell is there, Mendy is there, and you drew at home to Sevilla.
Frank Lampard is a fraud. I've told you, and I'll say it again.
We'll see. Solskjaer was not back this summer, and he does that. So let's put the pressure on managers who deserve it. And let's give some back into Solskjaer for once. Right, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Bob, thanks again for coming on as well. Really appreciate it. It's always good to have someone on.
Oh no, thank you very much for it. And just like to say, guys, if you want to catch me on Twitter for Man United related tweets, it's at BobsJNR. Also, my YouTube channel is Bits and Bobs on YouTube. So yeah, check me out. G, thank you so much, man. Appreciate this. Have fun. Always have fun speaking to you, man. And glory, Man United, man.
Glory, Man United. Come on. Right, guys. Everyone take care. It's been an amazing win. Let's be united as a fan base. Let's support this team. Let's go forward. Come on, Manchester United.